Okay gang, it's Gina here with the Destination Baby and Kids YouTube channel. I'm going to show you how to install your Graco 4Ever DLX in a rear-facing mode with a seatbelt. Now again, this video does not substitute for the instruction manual. You absolutely need to read your instruction manual. You also need to have your vehicle manual present as well when you're installing any car seat. So again, this video does not supersede any instructions whatsoever. It is just meant as an additional helping guide to the instruction manual that you own for the car seat that you own. Now, if you fall in love with this seat from this installation video and want to purchase it, just click on the link and you can go ahead and buy this awesome Graco 4Ever DLX. But right now, what I'm concerned with is making sure I explain to you that you need to use your manual, read your vehicle manual, and now we will launch into setting this guy up for a rear-facing seatbelt installation. Okay, so this seat is going to come set up, ready to use rear-facing with lower anchors. So if for whatever reason you don't want to use lower anchors in a rear-facing mode, that is not a problem. However, what we will need to do is remove the lower anchor from the belt path so that it doesn't get in the way when we do our installation. This is actually pretty simple on this seat. How this works is you're going to pull the seat, the lower anchors, you want to free them. So we're going to pull those by pressing on the red button and having those free. We're going to lift our harness up on the seat, and then what is probably also smart to do is going to be removing this set of fabric from the inside of the seat, just so that life is a little easier. We're going to unbuckle our buckles here and pull this whole fabric set out off of the seat. So we went ahead and removed the lower seat fabric. Now, all you fine folks at home have a much better clarity to see this lower anchor strap, right? So this is what Graco assumes you're going to use when you do this installation, but if you don't want to use it, we're going to need to move it up to our forward-facing installation hole set so that it doesn't get in the way when we do our rear-facing installation with a seatbelt. So that just basically means putting this out of the way in a way that's useful for our installation. On the inside of the car seat, you'll notice if you're looking directly at the seat on the left side, there is a gray wire that runs through the seat. That's going to be really useful for what we're doing. So I like to take these two pieces, kind of put them together, and slide them up that wire so that now these pieces can pop through your forward-facing belt path on both sides of this seat. You see under here, the gray guy is coming through and hooking through the backrest of the seat like that. Now, if I turn this to the side, there's actually latch storage here on the back of this guy. I think it's right here on each side. You're going to be able to store those lower anchors. So again, if we're not using them for our installation method, we want to make sure that we store them out of the way and not in the belt path that we're using. So now that we've done that, we've prepped our seat for our seatbelt installation for rear-facing mode. So this is going to be pretty cool. What we need to do now is pick our recline level. So I'm going to go ahead and set this seat to the recline level 2 because I just know from my other installation that recline level 1 was too reclined. So here we're going to do it on recline installation level 2. I'm going to go ahead and turn the seat sideways, so hopefully you all can get a better sense of what's going on. And then I'm going to take my car seat and turn it backward. Now facing you guys should be the level indicator on the side of the seat. When the seat's correctly installed, the bubble will align with the blue spectrum on that window. So again, you're going to want to make sure that it does that because that's in the instructions. We want to make sure that we do that. And then the next thing that we want to do, and I keep telling myself I'm going to adjust this seatbelt around so it's not crooked anymore, and then I never do it. So I'm going to do it right now. There we go. Now, what we have here on the back of the seat is what's referred to as cup holders that are not fully installed, but besides that, we have an open belt path, which means I'm able to get at where the seatbelt goes on both sides of the car seat. So this blue window right here, it says rear-facing lower anchor attachment or vehicle seat belt path here, which means, hey, this is where your seat belt goes. Okay, cool. I'm appreciative. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna take our seatbelt, run it through one of those little holes, have it come under the other part of the tunnel, little Caldecott tunnel, and then have the belt buckle. So pretty simple, if you can get it to buckle. Then what you're gonna do is you're gonna put a little bit of pressure on the seat where the kiddo's feet maybe would be, and then you're gonna pull on the seatbelt component, the shoulder belt of the car seat. So now this is getting nice and tight. I'm kind of like pressing on both sides, walking it out, evening it out. And then while I'm still hanging on to that shoulder belt part, what I'm gonna do is grab the rest of the shoulder belt and pull it out slowly toward myself. Doing this will enable me to engage what's called the switchable locking retractor, which means when this shoulder belt piece is pulled all the way out toward myself, when it goes back in, it should make a clicking sound. Hopefully you can hear that. That's how you know your seatbelt's locked off. And what we're gonna do in this instance is try and feed as much of the seatbelt as we possibly can back into that shoulder belt piece. So I hate to generalize, but sometimes gentlemen can get this a little bit tighter than ladies. Again, not trying to be offensive in any way, but just saying sometimes it's a good job for a gentleman. So now we're gonna I'm right-handed, so I'm gonna take my left hand and I'm gonna grab the seat from its installation point and pull on it left-right. I'm not getting more than an inch of movement left to right, lateral slide, so that's good. Then I'm gonna take the seat again and pull it front to back, and I'm not getting more than an inch of movement front to back. So right now, our seat is correctly installed with our open belt path. We've got our seat belt locked off. On yours, your cup holder will be fully installed all the way because it does say in the instruction manual you need to do that. I've only neglected to do it because I'm afraid I'm not gonna be able to take them off once I get them on. And that's not because they don't come off, it's just because I'm an idiot and I struggle with that on every car seat. So now I'm gonna reattach my lower pad. And something that I would wanna do before I would declare myself victorious for this type of installation, aside from correctly getting the fabric back onto the seat, is going to be checking my level indicator, making sure that I didn't mess that up and that the seat isn't too upright or too reclined for a backward facing kiddo. So let's come over here and look. We are right in our blue spectrum. So this is perfect. The seat is nice and reclined. Then I would make a determination on how heavy the kiddo is sitting in this seat. I know for sure I'm gonna need to use this piece, the side impact piece, because this side impact piece has to be used with any child under 40 pounds. And if this seat is still in a rear facing mode, we know that this kiddo is under 40 pounds. Because the seat only holds up to 40 pounds in backward mode. So we went ahead and installed this guy back on the seat with the little snaps. Those plastic snaps hook right onto the side. We're able to hook it up. Let's presume that this kiddo is 30 pounds. So they're over 20, so we don't need to redo the infant padding in the seat. But one thing that would be maybe nice to do for this kid is to put the shoulder pieces back on the seat. So I'm gonna reattach those, just because even though this isn't a real thing, I'm crazy and I like to show in its entirety. So now we would adjust the seat to wherever their harness height needs to be, which is at or below their shoulders. We will verify that the harness is working properly. Pulling is great. Loosening is working. So right now we are set and ready to go with a rear facing installation with a seat belt on our Graco 4Ever DLX car seat. Okay, if you have questions or comments for this method of installation, please feel free to leave them below. You can check out my videos comparing this seat to other seats. I did make a video kind of going over the difference with this guy and the Graco 4Ever DLX Slim, which has the snug lock off. So if you're curious, check out that video as well. But super happy to have you here, and hopefully this helped clarify how to install it in this specific method and orientation.